They look different, but their world's a lot different. And I don't think they can ignore the impact of that world. But they're coming to Penn State for the same reasons that students have always been coming to Penn State, to find themselves, to make their communion with the times.
This is what we would be like, sitting around on the hub lawn. I am right here.
Here we are. A tie that's about 45 inches wide and hair that's shoulder length. I started at Penn State University Park in the summer of 1970. Leaving home was quite an interesting experience. I remember as my folks left, me sitting on my bed in Snyder Hall saying, well, what am I going to do now?
Interestingly enough, I was living in New Jersey and I applied to Penn State, never having seen the campus for some reason, and I really can't remember why. It stood out as a place I wanted to come to. So when I got that admissions letter, I was a Nittany Lion.
When I was in high school, I liked technical stuff, and my advisor's son had gone to Penn State. She said, if you're going to be an engineer, you go to Penn State. So I got into Penn State, so that's why I came here.
Pioneer means to me a sense of adventure, a sense of initiation, a sense of giving. And I think that the class of 74 has rightfully lived up to that reputation.
You can't not be at a university and not blaze a new trail, whether it's for yourself, whether it's beyond for yourself. We blazed our trail. You set your own trail. Our trails may have gone in many different directions, but for all of us, it was something new for us. We were exploring and finding something new.
You can be a class of 72, you can be class 74, you can be a class of 92, and you all have a common tradition. You all have a common love for Penn State.
We all have that bond. We all spent years here at Penn State, and I'm sure for most of us, we left as very different individuals than when we walked through the doors and sang the alma mater for the first time and, saw the lion statue and went to Beaver Stadium. All those wonderful first-time events we all have in common.
What was the most important part of your college education?
I think the most important part is the education you get outside the classroom, the people you meet.
I guess the people I met and the different environment I was in here.
People I met, it was the people.
Just a total living experience.
People.
The whole experience? Wow.
On behalf of the Center County chapter, I want to welcome the class of 74 back home.
Class of 74, welcome home.
To the class of 1974, thank you for making the efforts for being here this evening. We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
Penn State.
We are.
Penn State.
We are.
Penn State. Alumni and friends, welcome home to Penn State, to We Are Weekend, and to the 2024 Pioneer Induction Dinner, where tonight we honor the class of 1974. Where else would you rather be than a room full of Penn Staters? I'm Paul Clifford, CEO of the Penn State Alumni Association. We're honored to have you back on campus to celebrate with you. It's your weekend here at Penn State, and we hope you enjoy your time experiencing the full We Are Weekend agenda and reconnecting with friends and classmates. On behalf of everyone at the Alumni Association, thank you for being here this weekend and for all you've done in your careers on behalf of the university. While many things have changed at Penn State, it's your accomplishments and legacy that have laid the foundation for future generations of alumni. Penn State pioneers are at the forefront of history and tradition at our university. You've made some great memories here, and I'm sure you're going to make some more this weekend. Penn State has become a global leader in higher education, thanks in part to all of you. Being a global leader offers us the ability to have an impact on the world and to make it a better place. You helped comprise the largest and most impactful alumni network in the world, with more than 775,000 living alumni and more than 174,000 members of the Penn State Alumni Association. Many of you have joined our affiliate groups, volunteered on behalf of the university, and otherwise found ways to give back, contribute, and sustain the value and prestige of a Penn State degree. Penn State alumni have distinguished themselves in every career field and every area of society, and we thank you for being part of our alumni network. Now I'd like to congratulate you, our pioneers from the class of 1974. Tonight, all class of 1974 members will be named and receive their medallions and be inducted into the ranks of Penn State pioneers. To all the members of the class of 74, you make us all Penn State proud. Thanks to each of you for representing Penn State so well throughout the years and for leading lives that, in the words of our alma mater, have swelled thy fame of dear old state. We also owe an enormous debt of gratitude to all of you who served honorably in the armed forces of the United States. May I ask all veterans here with us this evening to stand or wave to be recognized. Thank you for all you have done for our country. As a group, you've earned degrees from Penn State during a time of great transformation across the country. We landed on the moon, partied at Woodstock, saw the Beatles disband, and began looking at our finances differently as NASDAQ was created. The civil rights movement came to the forefront of our country as Dr. Martin Luther King inspired a nation, and the Stonewall riots in New York City served as a catalyst for the gay rights movement in the U.S. and around the world. On a lighter note, during your time at University Park, American Top 40, hosted by Casey Kasem, began airing as the nation's first nationally syndicated radio program, and PBS began its operations. Then, during your senior year, Happy Days premiered on ABC. The first issue of People magazine was published, and Henry Aaron overtook Babe Ruth as the home run king. As you'll hear from tonight's special guest, it was a time for change here at Penn State as well. Throughout the years, you've thrived and succeeded, bringing pride to your alma mater, as you have gone on to lives and careers of distinction and achievement. It's now my pleasure to introduce that special guest. She is the 19th president of the Pennsylvania State University, Dr. Neeli Bendapudi, along with her husband, Venkat Bendapudi, who is here with us. With nearly a 30-year career in academia, President Bendapudi is committed to student success, fostering inclusive excellence, and creating opportunities for students, faculty, and staff to thrive. We're thrilled Dr. Bendapudi is here with us tonight to join in the celebration and to share her perspective on Penn State and her vision for us moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Neeli Bendapudi.
Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be here. It's just so special to be here with all of you, enjoy this lovely evening, hear from you, your experiences and your recollections of your time here. But before we do any of that, could we please give a big round of applause to our staff who worked so hard to pull this all together? Doesn't it look marvelous? Just so impressed. I do truly mean that. Well, as has already been said, welcome home. And I want you to be comfortable pronouncing my name because, as you can tell from my accent, I'm from the South, the deep South, the deep, South. It's South India. It's Neeli. My name is Neeli Bendapudi. And what I love is that the meaning of Neeli, and you can Google, you can verify, is blue. So I feel like I'm where I'm meant to be. And I am starting my 3rd year as president of your university. It is such a joy to be here with you. We love being part of the Penn State family. And somebody asked me, so I have to tell you, 4 generations of my family are here in Happy Valley. My mother lives with us. Our daughter and son-in-law, after a little bit of bribing, just a little bit, we have just the one child, moved to State College, bought a house, and we are adding to the population of Center County because we have 2 grandkids. So very excited to be here. I feel that I can share that with you because one thing that's true about Penn State that hasn't changed, what makes us so special, of course, it's God's country. It's so beautiful. I get all of that, but it comes down to the people. Happy Valley is happiest when it's filled with the we are spirit, and you certainly bring that we are spirit here today. It's a joy. I want to tell you 2 things that stand out for me as your president this past couple months. One is watching the 5th generation of the old willow being planted. For apparently the first president brought this over 3 years after the start of our university. Evan Pugh brought this. And for years, for generations, our students, our staff have tended to it. And now they have an old willow at every single one of our campuses. Isn't that wonderful? The second thing that I remember about our students and why the We Are spirit is all about people is it was so moving. There was an evening of remembering the students that we lost. And I could not tell you how unbelievable it was on a lovely spring evening where students could be doing anything, how many of them showed up to support the families there. That's what Penn State is about. The We Are spirit is recognizing we are only as strong as the families we are part of. Families we are born into, but much more importantly, or as importantly, the families we create, the communities we are part of. So thank you for inviting us into the Penn State family. We are here. We love it. So, quick quiz. How many of you got to go see the new Palmer Museum of Art? Apparently, they planned the whole inaugural just for you because I understand that the Palmer Museum first opened in 1972 when you were all students here. So how thoughtful of them to have planned it ready for your 50th year reunion. Similarly, I tried to look up what a time of change it was when you were students here. In 1970, Penn State welcomed a new president, Dr. John Oswald. And it was so interesting to hear that he talked about how are we going to stay accessible for everybody and how are we going to be excellent. The more things change, the more they stay the same. If you ask me what are the 2 things I think about, one is how are we going to be accessible? Higher education is about transforming lives. Penn State is about providing that world-class education to everybody so that their lives could be transformed. And of course, making sure that we always stand for excellence. Whether it's success with honor, whether it is making sure on or off the field, in everything we do, we strive for excellence. Our students are unbelievable, and I know that a lot of it goes back to you. So here's more history for you. I love this because I get to learn about all of these things when I'm here. The very first student to be appointed to the Board of Trustees was in 1971. And I want you to know it's been a joy for me to work with our current student trustee. They're incredible. You all made it happen. In 1972, the first female members of the Blue Band were admitted. I love it because what an institution. We have my 3-year-old grandson is such a fan of the Blue Band that that's what he is for Halloween, and whatever match we're following, whatever match, whatever game, he says, the Blue Band is winning, the Blue Band is winning, which is always true. And 1973, the Penn State bookstore was opened, making it easier for students to access material for their class. And this requires a drum roll and a lot of cheering. You made this happen. A proud Penn State tradition, the largest student-run philanthropy, Thorn, was first organized in 1973. And this year, every year they shatter records. This year, they raised $16.9 million for fighting pediatric cancer. What a cause and what dedication. Now, I don't know how many of you remember this. I have a feeling a few of you do. The perfect season in 1973, yes? And I hear that many of you might have enjoyed a few downtown State College staples. I did talk to a few locals who told me that they do remember what you were doing. But you also really helped Penn State become more inclusive, more equitable. You really are pioneers. It's really extraordinary when I think about this. It's because of you, when you were here, that Penn State expanded its recruitment and academic and cultural support for Black students. It's because of you that they listened to the voices of women and expanded the enrollment of women students and ending the practice of enforcing a gender ratio on the student body. And proud student activists founded HOPS, the university's first student LGBT advocacy group. And the LGBTQ plus community continues to thrive here. So many unbelievable firsts. I don't know where to start. I promise I'll quit. There's so many, it's hard to pick. The Division of Undergraduate Studies was established. The first woman chair of the Faculty Senate was elected. And certainly, this is extraordinary, the long life, rechargeable heart pacemaker was developed a first at the Milton S. Hershey Medical Center. So it's fun to reminisce and think about what we've done, where we are, and it's important to respect our history and respect our tradition. But I want you to know that you as pioneers have left that pioneering spirit with our students, our faculty, and our staff. Academic excellence. So many things I could tell you about. One, did you know that we graduate the most STEM majors of any university in the country? That's us, number one. Did you know we honored our veterans who've served this country? Did you know that we are one of the most critical partners for the Department of Defense in national security? I get such a kick out of the fact that we are such a key partner for the US Navy. I tell people it's because we have a secret submarine base in Pennsylvania. We do unbelievable research. I'm so proud of it. More than $1.2 billion of research. And we are now ranked, I love it, worldwide in the top 10 public universities in creating knowledge, because that's part and parcel of what we do. As a proud liberal arts graduate, I want you to know that while we brag on our STEM accomplishments, the same level of excellence in every single field. The arts, the humanities, the social sciences. I'm so proud of the excellence. But I never forget our history of being founded as a land-grant university. Every time I walk in, I see that mural of Lincoln, and I remember. 1862. Now we're going back a little farther in history. What was happening at the time? A very eventful time in US history. The Civil War was raging. But President Lincoln, think of what he does. In the middle of the Civil War, he does not let the problems of today stop him from the promise of tomorrow. While the war is waging, he sets up the land-grant universities. And what are land-grant universities supposed to be? I understand these were not always granted lands. We know the history. But the purpose was to make sure that education was not just for the elite. Education was supposed to be for every single person. So we recognized one class of heroes, earlier by asking those who've served to stand, and we applaud you and your families. There's a second class of another group of heroes that I want to recognize. Class of 1974. If any of you were the first ones in your family to get a college degree, would you please stand? Thank you. Because when you're the first one in your family to go to college, you're a pioneer too. You're having to learn how to navigate a complex system. I want you to know Penn State is still doing that. We educate more students on a Pell Grant than all of the Ivy Leagues combined. The Pell Grant is at the lowest socioeconomic status, as you know, economically. And I'm so proud that across our 24 campuses, we have students from 140 countries that come here to Penn State. And on so many of our campuses, we still are the place where we change lives because first-generation college students are here. It's truly humbling to think of what we do. So, my call to action, and you better be paying attention. You know I'm your president. That means I can go back and change your grades if you don't behave yourselves. Please stay engaged. Please stay engaged with Penn State. I'm so proud of you. You came here from everywhere. I know you traveled really far. Tell you how far? There are two people here from Moon and from Mars. Felicia and Linda, please stand up. I thought they were pulling my leg. I said, where are you from? Moon, Pennsylvania, and Mars, Texas. So it's kind of fun to have you here. So please stay connected. Get to know one person today that maybe you didn't meet while you were here. And wherever you go, when you hear, I've got to call on my help here. Everybody has to join me. When I say we are, when you hear we are anywhere in the world, I hope you will say Penn State with great pride. With our students, please, if they ever reach out to you, help them just as we were helped. And I give you my sacred word of honor. My husband of 40 years is here with me. I give you my sacred word of honor. Being your president is incredibly humbling, incredibly gratifying. 99% of my job is fun. Not true for university presidents in general, if you didn't know right now. I love it. I'm giving it my all because you deserve it. And I'm giving it my all. I want you to stay connected. So are you ready? We are. We are. We are. Thank you.
All right, how about another round of applause for President Neeli Bendapudi? All right, I'm now going to invite you to enjoy your salads, and we will resume the program shortly. Now we'll begin recognizing tonight's pioneers. To get us started, I'm pleased to introduce the 83rd president of the Penn State Alumni Association, Anand Ganjam. A longtime volunteer on behalf of Penn State, Anand began his term as president of the Alumni Association in July of last year. He has volunteered with the Alumni Association for the last decade, starting as a student, and then joining the Alumni Council's executive board. I know he's thrilled to be here tonight. It's my pleasure to introduce him. Alumni and friends, please help me welcome Anand Ganjam, president of the Alumni Association.
Long-time volunteer. All right, good evening. All right. I am so excited to be here with all of you. I just wanted to say two things before I go to my formal script. The first is that I want to thank, I think it was Marie, who asked if I was a student on the way inside today. So I do really appreciate that, as always. And then the second thing I wanted to say, well, I always have to follow President Bendapudi. She is amazing at speaking up here and just getting the crowd energized. And she said her name is Neeli, which means blue. My name is Anand, which means happiness. So isn't there, what else defines this Pioneer Induction Dinner than blue happiness, right? That's what we're here for, so. Yeah. So we'll have to use that, President Bender. We will do that in the future, but, well, exactly. We're gonna brand that, copyright everything. So first off, congratulations to all of you. I'm so honored to be in the company of so many loyal Penn Staters. We hold you in the highest regard for your lifetime of accomplishment, for all that you have done in your careers, in your communities, for your families, and for your country. We are most grateful for your enduring and steadfast loyalty to Penn State. Penn State alumni have gathered together since 1870, with the first meeting by a handful of alumni in the chemistry room of the original Old Main. Since that time, Penn State and the Alumni Association have both grown together. Today, our alma mater has more than 100,000 students across all campuses and is ranked among the top 100 universities in the world. And of course, because of you, we have the largest alumni network in the world. Please know we are forever grateful for everything you've done in service to your alma mater. It is now time to begin announcing the names of this year's Pioneer Medallion recipients. As we announce the name of each member of the class of 1974, we ask you to rise if you're able and remain standing until our Alumni Association and staff members can present you with your Pioneer Medallion. It's looking pretty cool. The Pioneer Medallion represents this meaningful occasion and reflects the pride we share in Penn State and in our graduation from this great university. Now, when you receive your Pioneer Medallion, please do not place it around your neck just yet. After all the names in your class have been announced later this evening, we will ask you to rise together, and we will formally induct you into the ranks of Penn State Pioneers. At that time, you will place the medal around your neck and wear it proudly. Now, to announce the first half of the Penn State Pioneers from the class of 1974, please help me welcome Paul back to the stage. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Anand. We'll announce the first half of the names now, then we'll enjoy dinner, and then announce the remaining names after dinner. At that point, we'll have our official ceremony. So please note the names we are reading tonight are based on the registrations as of this afternoon. As your name is called, please stand, or if you wish to remain seated, wave your napkin so that fellow classmates can see where you are. It'll also help our volunteers and staff members find you to present your medallion. All right, are you ready? All right, let's get started. All right, the medallion recipients from the class of 1974 are Elizabeth Adams, Catherine Arentz, Stan Ongst, Barbara Barber, Maria Barna, Margaret Barton, Harry Best, Paul Buther, Carol Bunsey, Glenn Chase, David Cook, Teresa Cook, Margaret Costello, Robert Davis, Felicia Dawson Batcha, Judith Delatch. Rachel Diamond. Jan Duncan. John Duncan III. Lawrence Dupak. Elizabeth Engel. Suzanne Firth. Nathan Glazer. Susan Graham. Stephen Giacini. Holly Hammond. Bill Hare. Mary Ellen Heckman. Robert Heckman. Mary Homenko. Deborah Ainuna. Nancy Ingalls. Andrew Jackson Sr. Mark Jinks. And Monica Kalish. All right, that concludes the first round of Penn State Pioneers. As Anand mentioned, please hold on to your medallions. We'll continue our program after dinner, which you can now enjoy. All right, we're going to get started again with the second round of names. Again, please stand so a staff member can find you, or wave your hand so we can find you and deliver your medallions. And please keep the medallions off until we ask you to put them on. All right, Stephen Coolidge. Stephen Lampert. Tim Leidig. Beverly Long. Carrie McDonald. Francis McElhaney. Barbara Michael. Marie Miller. Gladys Nicholas. Linda Norris. Cynthia Onder. David Pezza. Ronald Phelps. Gregory Pierce. Louise Piper. Mary Frances Quaid. Hal Rogers. Elaine Roston. Joan Russin. Kathleen Ryan. Naomi Schoolfield. Pamela Siegman. Nels Schreier. Darcy Stoles. Art Tanzella. Paula Topirik. Peter Taylor. Kirk Thompson. Vendetta Thompson. Donna Van Bodegraven. Louise Victor. Eileen White. Sally Whitney. LaDon Young. Robert Yaskavich. And Mark Zimmer. All right, now is there any member of the class of 74 whose name I did not say? Stand up. Tell me your name. Mary Smith. Sir? Tim Hall. Jim Mall. Jim Mall. Anybody else? Want to make sure that everybody has their medallion. Is it that guy right back there? No? Stand up and say your name, sir. Richard Victor. All right, last call. Anybody else? All right, now I'm going to invite Anand Ganjam to come back up to the stage for the medallion ceremony. Anand?
Thank you, Paul. So I'm sure this weekend has brought back so many memories for each of you. Times were a bit different during your 4 years at Penn State 50 years ago. That time you spent at Penn State set you on your life path and launched you into the beginning of your career. Now, 50 years since graduation, you will be recognized for your loyalty to Penn State by being inducted into the ranks of Penn State Pioneers. Now, will the class of 1974 representative please join us to the stage? Your class representative is Dr. Deborah Ayuna. Dr. Ayuna has dedicated her professional life to the field of education, a commitment that she continues to this day as a current academic success coach for Rowan College of South Jersey. Yeah, give it up. Dr. Ayuna earned her Bachelor of Arts degree in education for Penn State in 1974, and she has 3 children, 2 of whom are Penn State graduates. Yes. It should also be noted that she is very proud of the education her children received from Penn State. At this time, I invite all members of the class of 1974 to please rise and hold your Pioneer Medallion in your hand. Yep. These medallions are given to each of you in recognition of 50 years of loyalty and devotion to our alma mater. Again, please hold your medallion in your hand for just another moment. I am honored to welcome you. I hereby declare you as the representative of the class of 1974 to be a Penn State Pioneer.
Thank you.
Now, will all members of the class of 1974 please place your medallion around your neck? And congratulations. All right. You are hereby inducted into the ranks of Penn State Pioneers. And now, new Penn State Pioneers, you may be seated. And I invite Dr. Deborah Ayuna to share a few words on behalf of the class of 1974.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Bendapudi, our president, as well as Paul Clifford, Odile Parker, and Dr. Jason Foster of the Penn State Alumni Association for giving me this opportunity to welcome you. As was stated in my introduction, I am a teacher and an educator, and I must say, I'm not accustomed to having so many people listening to me. Good evening. What a privilege, what a joy, what an opportunity to be here to congratulate the great class of 1974 as Penn State pioneers. I never imagined when I arrived here from Penn Hills High School, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, all the opportunities that would be afforded to me. As a result of my Penn State education, I have traveled abroad. I have even visited schools in other countries. In addition, I've been a teacher, a consultant, a diagnostician, an adjunct professor, and now I am an academic success coach working with high school dropouts in a college setting. Notwithstanding, the minute I set foot on the University Park campus, I knew this would be a life-changing experience for me. I will always remember going to Rec Hall to register for classes, stand in line forever, and to buy concert tickets. I will always remember that the football tickets were only $2. I will always remember attending the football games at Beaver Stadium and feeling such happiness and pride when we won the Orange Bowl and then many other bowls thereafter. I will always remember the United Soul Ensemble that we started in South Halls. In fact, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 members of that ensemble. And that was an initiative with Reverend Coleman and also with the university president, just to give us an opportunity to visit around different places in the United States, and mostly in Pennsylvania we sang. And we do have our inaugural album. I believe it's online if you want to purchase it. But I'll always remember that. And I will always remember Earth Day in April 1972, and all the celebrating that we did on the old main lawn with lots of food and music. Finally, let's not forget bell-bottom pants and platform shoes and afro hairstyles and peace symbols and different types of music. As I read the Penn Stater magazine, which told our stories, I was amazed at the pioneering spirit of our class. Our class opened and explored the decade of the 70s. We were a class who saw potential in others. We were innovators. We were willing to try new things, and we pushed boundaries to advance our causes as we broke many records along the way. Also, I can say my family has been a family of Penn State pioneers. I have 2 sisters that I persuaded to leave Clarion State and Lincoln University and come to Penn State, and they did. And now they're graduates. My sister Cheryl Stringer Harrison worked here with the Penn State Alumni Association for many years. I have a son and a daughter who graduated from Penn State. When my daughter got married, all of her bridesmaids were from Penn State. And in fact, she's featured in one of the Penn Stater magazines. They have a picture of her dancing with her husband. I have 2 brother-in-laws and many nieces and nephews who graduated from Penn State. So we are Penn Staters through and through, and we are pioneers. In summary, the best things I remember about the great class of 1974 are: we were not afraid to be great. We conceived, we believed, and we achieved. So congratulations on being a Penn State pioneer, and always remember, we are connected for life. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ayuna, and congratulations to each member of the class of 1974. We'll conclude our program shortly. Up next, please enjoy some dessert and coffee. Thank you.
Penn State. Penn State. Penn State. Yeah. Thank you, Rocco. All right, let's have a nice round of applause for John Thompson on the piano. Well, what a wonderful evening this has been. Thank you all for being here. It was great to honor the class of 1974 and induct you into the ranks of Penn State pioneers. Before we say goodnight, I'd like to ask all of you, my fellow Penn Staters, to please stand as we sing the alma mater. Now, the words for your reference, because I know the words you sang in the stadium, and those aren't the words we want to hear here tonight. Take a look on the back of your program, and we're going to ask Deborah and her choir to lead the alma mater. Ready? The glory of old state, for her for the future that we wait. Praise the song, praise the song. Sing our love and loyalty. Sing hopes that bright and free. Rest your mother dear with thee, all in thee, all in thee. We stood at childhood's gate, shapeless in the hands of fate. Thou didst mold us, dear old state, dear old state, dear old state. Lay no hand of ours bring shame to one heart that loves thy name. May our lives but swell thy fame, dear old state, dear old All right, have a great night. We'll see you all tomorrow. We are. Thank you.